Candice, thank you so much for accepting the invite. I'm very grateful for your time today with us. I know you're very busy.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure.
You're most welcome. Just as a starter, please tell us who is Candice. Give me like a backstory of who are you, please.
Okay, well, I'm South African, was born in South Africa. And I came from a very kind of high level sports family. Parents were both very sporty, and it just something that I lived for, and grew up swimming before I could walk and running before I could crawl. And my dad was just absolute my hero, was an incredible sportsman. And at the age of 9, when I was 9, he got sick within 6 weeks and he died of cancer, which was a massive throw like within the family. And he was, like I said, he was my absolute hero. And then 4 years later, my mom met the most incredible man. I still always can't believe that, things happened the way they did. And he lived on a game farm, a nature reserve, and was a game ranger, didn't have any kids. And anyhow, they got married and had a little boy. So I had my brother from my mom's previous marriage, and we moved on to this most incredible game reserve in the Eastern Transvaal, where we had rhino and buffalo and ostriches and in the garden and coming into the kitchen. And my dad was probably one of the greatest conservationists of all time in South Africa. He was one of the only men to guarantee any animal safety within the first 30 days of capture. And I just developed the most passionate love for flying. So I got into helicopters there. The kind of dream was that I would do the helicopter flying, my dad doing the game capture. So that was just like, I can't even explain to you how special that was, and living on that farm in that area was just magical. It's closest to heaven I think anybody could see. The closest
I can see
person.
from the way you're speaking about it.
It was, about 20 minutes away, and it was just so beautiful. At the time, I was also doing a high-level sport. I had national colours for swimming, athletics, hockey. So it was just my life was sport. And then, sadly, when my younger brother turned a year old, my stepdad was killed on the farm on a Land Cruiser accident. So we had, it was owned by a very high-level person in South Africa. So all the ministers used to come to the farm for the weekend to have their release. It was completely private. And we had just come back from a long day capture. My dad hadn't slept, and probably driving all these trucks with these antelope that were worth thousands and thousands of rands. And when we got back, my mom had said that the Minister of Foreign Affairs was arriving to the farm. So we had to go to the camp, get everything organized. And then it must have been at about 12 midnight. We would never, ever hunt. We'd only cull some of the wildebeest, the very old bulls, if it was needed. So this gentleman was insisting on doing it, and my dad had to come to the house and swap vehicles. And on the way down, he actually fell asleep behind the wheel of the car, and it's the Land Rover, and obviously it was completely open vehicle, flipped over and landed on his chest and killed him. So life really changed a lot that time. I moved to the coast and started flying aircraft there, and then got married to a pilot, and we moved to Mauritius, but then female pilots weren't allowed there at the time. So I went into coaching swimming and working for the international school, opening up the first swimming academy, introducing competitive swimming, competitive sports, hockey and athletics to the island. I thought, I just can't sit here, build kind of special hot water heaters with pipes and gasoline to make the water warm. And spent 10 years in Mauritius, and then he got offered a job with Emirates, and we moved to Dubai. And then, it was a very different life. I was very used to the kind of simplicity and being in nature and being on the island, and to coming to this hustle bustle first
Yeah.
world country. But it was amazing. I mean, it was really good. And then we got divorced, and I went from the typical Jamira Jane having the car, the villa, to literally a bicycle, thinking, okay,
Love a
right, let's.
bicycle. Always a good feeling.
Oh boy, I tell you now. And then I had two swimming academies clubs at the time, and uh, again, there's some different people here at times, and two of my own staff literally took everything away. But anyhow, started from scratch, and then one day was walking down Kite Beach, and I saw this lovely man watering a palm tree. There was nothing there other than a CID office, and I said to him, "Who's your arbab?" And he said, "Sheikh Hamdan." Mushkil, I can't speak to Sheikh Hamdan. He's the other Arab. Anyhow, he told me, and I managed to get hold of him, and I said to him, I need to build a gym on the beach. Can I build something? He said, Yalla, build it. So I had nothing. And my neighbor in Mauritius actually had a company here in Dubai, and he was a carpenter. So I went and I got all the offcuts of wood and started building this little gym on the beach, like 7 meters by 10 meters. And
No
uh,
way.
yeah, I loved it. I love carpentry. I absolutely love it. In my next life, I'm going to be a carpenter. Anyhow, and so then one day, one of the other bosses came and said he saw what I had built. It looked so beautiful. I managed to put concrete on the ground. And then I was sitting one day looking at Troy Trim used to give this old magazine. I think they actually still do it. And at the back was a life fitness picture, and it had a treadmill on it. I thought, I'm going to find out who's the marketing manager for this company, and I'm going to do it. So I called him, and he was actually I don't know how I got to the CEO. And he came down personally to the beach, lovely man called Mazen. And he said, right, what equipment do you want? I'll give it to you. So he gave me all the equipment, the spinning bikes, concept 2 rows, and that was the start of the gym. And then when my boss came down one day, he looked at it and he said, you want a job? I said, oh, yes, I want a job. He said, okay, yalla, come work, give me your papers, and you can have a manager of Kite Beach. And yeah, then that's how my journey started with the whole birth of Pirates, the birth of Kite Beach. I just wanted to create the most kind of family orientated and natural beach area in Dubai, and followed by the world's best sporting beach. That was always the goal. Um, I had missed out obviously on family life. So to have, you know, seeing parents come down with their kids, I planted grass. Everyone said to me, you can't plant grass on the beach. I said, Yella, watch me. I'm going to plant grass. I planted grass, and they said, where are you going to get water? I said, come. Got my little friend. We put a borehole in the beach, got some lovely fresh water. I had the greenest grass you can ever imagine. Um, and then I said to him, look, we need to put some restaurants here. I literally handmade little wooden brown picket fences with little paths with stones. And then we needed to do a building. I Googled how to install a DB box, how to install drains. I thought, like, what is the requirement for DIWA? You know, 0.9 meters, 1 meters, yalla, come. Let's dig, stand up. Okay, it's about up to my waist. Let's do it. Dig. I had three of the most incredible Indians working with me, and they were just phenomenal. So we literally started building Kite Beach, and that's where the journey began. And then I said, no, I can't not work with kids. My life is kids. It's the greatest passion I have, and I need to give back a little bit now. And then started Pirates, and then got given, well, part of the land across from Kite Beach was this open plot. It wasn't being used. So I said to them, let's build a natural playscape for kids. And so eventually got the approval and built it almost identical to my farm in South Africa, the game farm I grew
No
up. I mean,
way.
wooden, the thatches, the grass roofs, the old tree houses, little water streams running down. And I tried to get animals in at the time, but then it took a few years. But now we've got a pony and a goat and chickens, and I just wanted kids to reconnect with nature, because that was, I know that they're so into technology that they've lost out on what we grew up on.
Yes.
Let them run, let them fall, let them climb a tree and swing on a on a rope. That's all part of life that they need to do. So yeah, that was the story. It's a in a nutshell.
That's a wonderful story, Candice. Candice,
It's been
why?
interesting. Sorry?
Why this? Like, I mean, why, like, this, like, what driven you, in a sense?
You know, I think you go through different kind of things in your life for a reason. You don't suffer for nothing. You get, and this is kind of my philosophy, that you experience extreme heartache. You can either take it in a positive and build on it, or you can crumble. And throughout my life, obviously losing my dad, my stepdad, both my brothers, at the age of, my youngest brother was 25 and my eldest brother was 32 when they both committed suicide. One here in Abu Dhabi, my youngest brother, who was literally my son. When my stepdad passed away, um, my mom just really struggled. So I took over and kind of brought him up, and he was like really my son. My kids just adored him. I've got three beautiful children, and I think after his death, my oldest brother's death, my aunt and uncle, who really became my life support through the difficult times when my mom was transitioning, both of them were killed in a train accident. So I think going through all of that kind of heartache, I just thought I need to. And my stepdad taught me the most incredible lessons in life. We'd go on um, overnight camping trips and obviously going on capture. And he'd always say to me, and we had, over 40 staff that were there. And he said, you never put a morsel or a crumb in your mouth until every staff has got food.
Mm.
You never, ever, ever go and lie in the bed until they're all in a bed. He said, look after those who will look after you. And just treat everyone with respect. It doesn't matter who it is. They're humans. Every single person you meet in your life, you treat with respect and you greet the
I love
same,
that.
whether they're all. And I love that. And I really live for that. I think my sanity was my sport, and I knew I had a gift in sport. And I thought, it's kind of like it's a, it's my duty in a way. I think God gave me a talent, and it's my talent to pass it on, because it doesn't matter how much money you've got or where you live. If you want to be good at sport, at how much grit you put in, how much hard work, how hard you train, your mindset, your heart set, your soul set. It's not about what car you drive or what house you live in. Whoever's running or swimming or, rowing or paddling or boating, it's, who's got that kind of fighting spirit. So I, as we grew up and seeing the kids here growing up and becoming so addicted to social media, and, I just thought we're going to lose a whole generation of kids if we don't
True.
try bring them back. They can't even read facial expressions anymore because they're so used to looking at screens. And I want them to be grateful and thankful. That there is no better feeling than waking up in the morning and say, thank you. And I'm so grateful for what I have. And that's why I thought, you know what, I'm going to take them on tours. And I took them to Sri Lanka and Zanzibar and Bali, traveling with 150 kids at the same time. And we went to Sri Lanka and, you know, taking them, giving back to the schools and orphanages. And, we literally went into the school in Sri Lanka, one of the poorest schools ever. And imagine collecting donations from my 1,300 kids, crayons and pencils, and we actually bought them 6 laptops because they had never even seen a laptop before.
Oh,
And watching these kids' faces was just the most life-changing experience. And I took all the kids' parents, I said, go away. And we sat in this classroom that had no windows, no chairs, this old thing we use as a blackboard. And I said, now I want you to close your eyes and I want you to visualize, how do you go to school in the morning? You've just had a lunch packed for you. You go into your classroom, there's green grass, there's sports fields, there's interactive whiteboards. You
Yeah.
have everything, and yet you are so miserable. You are always unhappy. You are always ungrateful. You want more. These kids have nothing, and look how happy they are. Imagine being in a place where you have nothing, but you are so happy, that you are grateful for your health, your family, the things around you, that you did get food on the table. And once I saw the mind shift of these kids, I thought, oh yes, I'm actually on the right path.
Yeah.
This is what my goal was. This is what the dream was. And it just grew and grew from there. I mean, my head coach, he's 23 years old. He started with me when he was 9 years old. That whole group have come through. They've even got the coordinates of Kite Beach tattooed onto them, because this is, they've just grown up in such a and formed such a powerful community. It's a family. This is my family. It's the reason I wake up. It's the reason I kind of, you know, when you go through so much and you actually experience, okay, this is what loss is. This is what kind of, sadness is, not having the family that you want, or you know, learning what it feels like to have nothing and think, how am I going to feed my kids tonight? If it's not
Yeah.
McDonald's, we're not going to have any food. So I had that survival instinct followed by that fighting spirit of, what, I'm going to make this right. I'm going to create something beautiful. I'm going to be the best I possibly can be. I've always said to the kids, and it's always been a joke amongst the pirates, that no one remembers who comes second. Like, nobody cares who comes second. Always have the mindset of, life is not just first place for everybody. Life is one big competition. And if you can do it and learn to deal with it in a healthy environment, you'll be the most successful person in the world. It's dedication, it's hard work. I rarely get a day off. I work every day, all day. But I have the right purpose. I have the reason, and I have, having worked with Sheikh Hamdan, you know, seeing the vision and just wanting to create something special is, and having them have that trust in you and actually thanking you for the work that you're doing. And, that's, for me, that was always the goal. The goal was to have they come down to one of the events that I was doing, and like the first junior triathlon. There was never a junior triathlon in Dubai. And I said, I'm going to do it. And I took from 4 years to 14 years, and the winning school gets 20,000 dirhams into school, into the PE department to grow sport in
Yeah.
the school. And I said, if I can get a kid to enjoy competition in a healthy way, I won the lottery. And I literally turned Kite Beach into an underwater aquarium with Dory and Nemo and stingrays. And the stingray at the registration was about 25 meters long with jellyfish. And
Right.
yeah, and the kids just were so in awe. There was dolphins as markers and boys, and I thought, and they had so much fun. And then from then, the second year he didn't come, and then the third year he came. And I remember sitting there watching Madge compete, and he came up to me and he actually put his arm around me and he said, "Thank you." And I just thought, yes, okay, it's so worth it. And you know I think in like 6 years I didn't have a day off, and working 12, 14 hours a day. It made it worthwhile. Every hardship, a good has come out of it. And it's just, it's probably the most rewarding feeling. And doing what you love, there's no better prize to it. It's what we all should strive for. So yeah, our every day is a gift that I get to work here and I get to do the things that I do, and being with the kids. And you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to fail. You're going to make mistakes. It's not. This is the only program in the world that offers what it does, and it's taken me 14 years to do it and literally write it almost like a Bible. What works,
Mhm.
what doesn't work, what I like, what I don't like. Some people say to me, why are you teaching golf on the beach? With a plastic ball and a little piece of grass. And I said, well, you know what? It teaches a kid to focus and concentrate when there is screaming and shouting going around. The harder you swing, you're not going to get anywhere. Breathe, focus, and visualize your shots. It's just, there's always little kind of stories to We're doing getting a world famous etiquette coach to come and teach the kids etiquette. If you go to Japan, if you go to China, how do you greet people? How do you sit at the table? How do you socialize? And
Oh,
how do you hold your knife and fork and your spoon? And boys, pull the chairs open for the girls. Open the door for the girls. When we're
love
giving
that.
out lollipops, and I said to them, boys, the girls go first. They get their lollipops, and then you go. And girls respect the boys. Don't ever abuse that. So I'm very, very old school. Very, very. I call a spade a spade. That's the kind of. I know that. I just think manners and respect is something that's lost with this whole new generation. So if I get to change 2%, I'm I'm lucky. I'm thankful for that. So yeah, that's
Candice, what do you think is the role of social media nowadays? Do you think it's a positive thing? Because from where I'm standing, I think it's like something that is affecting today's generation to a very negative extent. What's your
I
prospect about it?
I couldn't agree with you more. I think it's destroyed people. It's destroyed kids. It's changed characters for kids. It's reshaped and metamorphosized their brains to a degree that I don't think we'll ever get it back again. It's unfortunately when it comes to body images and where everything is photoshopped and you can be whatever you want to be, and it's there's nothing authentic about it. There's nothing
Yes.
real about it. And that's why when I try and there's a place for social media advertising companies, but unfortunately it's lost track. And even the kind of damage within kids and social circles, and how it's I've got a strict no bullying policy in Pirates, that if you
Mm.
tease people on social media, you pull them down, you exclude people, 3 strikes and you're out from the club.
Mm.
This is a safe place. It's a safe place for kids to run away from school, and I just think that social media has literally, we've gone from this direction to that direction, and
Yes.
I sadly don't see it ever coming back again unless parents control it. I mean, any kind of technology is great and there's a place for it. But I want to tell you, when last you went to a restaurant, sat down at a table and saw parents and couples interacting together without being on their phone
Yes.
and a screen. Babies, tiny 6-month-old kids have got iPads in front of them, watching some mindless, spineless piece of sponge bobbing along and that. They've lost the ability to communicate. AI is coming in and taking over a complete different world and creating an avatar to us. But it's just there. Unfortunately, the emotional side that humans could deliver is becoming less and less and less. That human
Yes.
connection, that human, is just it's going, because imagine it's going now. In 10, 15 years time, this younger generation that are coming through, there's going to be nothing left. It's absolutely terrifying, to say the least. Absolutely terrifying. And it's to try and find what's real, what's not real, what's true, what's untrue. It's sad. It really is sad. But it's not going to change. It's only going to get worse.
Like the other day, I was thinking, like when you open social media nowadays, nothing that you do is perfect. In a sense, for example, if you have a curly hair, they want you to have straight hair. If you're fat, they want
Yeah.
you to be thin. Thin, you have to be fat. So people nowadays have this sensation that we are never perfect, which is creating anxiety and depression because everyone is thinking that, hey, I always need to work a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And it's not true. I mean, when you see that the kids is my eldest daughter, who's now 32, she's been suffering from anorexia for the last 15 years. And
Mhm.
it's still today she compares. How she's still alive is an absolute miracle. And it's always about, she was teased so badly at school, and look what these girls look like. And still today, Mom, look at this woman's body, like this is the most ideal body. When it's not real, you've got to have a thigh gap, because look at this one, look at Kendall
Yeah.
Jenner. Change your nose, change your eyes, change your face, change your, it's just, it's crazy. And you watch people going on holiday, and It's selfie here, selfie there. They don't even, they have this big smile for the selfie, take the phone away, and it looks like someone just died. You know,
True.
I look at it and think, what are you doing? When we've gone on a tour once and we were in Bali and we were going down this canyon to go and see a waterfall, it was the most beautiful place I've ever seen with these green, like rock formations below us. And there were so many parents telling their kids, smile, smile, stop, stop, look. And when I got to the waterfall, I said, right, we have a photographer with us. We have a drone. All I'm
Mm.
asking you now is put your phones away. Put your phones away. Let your kids be kids. Adapt it. Take it in. Create a brain tattoo of that image. That brain tattoo you're going to remember for the rest of your life. You're not going to be remember looking through your 6 million photographs and, oh, that photograph to show somebody where you are. Do it for you. Do it for your own kind of peace of mind, and that's what you should be doing. You know, it's not people post for the sake of showing off where they are and what they're doing and what boat they're on and what car they've just driven, and and then you have people around that don't have anything. Of
Yeah.
everyone's going to get jealous. Jealousy is the root of all evil. It is just the most horrendous thing ever. But meantime, the people around don't even have it. They've borrowed it. They've jumped in there. They've photoshopped that. You know, when you see the Photoshop stuff you can do now, I can be sitting here and it looks like I'm in a helicopter because I can just
Yes.
swing something, a hose pipe above my head. So, yeah, I think it's just, it's destroying people in such a negative way. Such a negative way.
Can you please give us like an idea about your pilot program? What is it?
So it's started off with the original Nippers program based on surf rescue that they're doing. That's been going on since 1902, which is very much uh, uh, doing the rescues in the sea and that. And then I started that thought, you know what, this is Dubai. I'm going to put it on steroids and building, creating different programs and adding onto it, and then brought in just you know a mixture of sports. So they do the swimming, they do MMA, survival, marine conservation, jiu-jitsu, beach volleyball, beach tennis, uh, diving, free diving, breath holding, the different sports, obviously SUPing, kayaking. We're building artificial reefs with oyster shells in there, growing coral. Um, we go camping. We went camping 2 3 months ago with over 380 of the families just camping in the desert, just kids running, falling asleep at 1 o'clock in the morning, covered in sand from head to toe, watching the
Yeah.
sunset, watching the sunrise. And it was just to create a community, and the most powerful community literally the world has ever seen. One member gets sick, we managed to feed one of the moms for nearly a year. We've done placing them into jobs, and people, we're kind of wolf pack animals. We need each other, and it's just evolved into that kind of a lifestyle program more than anything else, where it's just, if you're not good at swimming, you might be good at running, you might be good at jiu-jitsu, you might be good at beach tennis. We've just opened up the paddle tennis academy, where we're now doing paddle tennis, because I want paddle tennis is the greatest sport ever at the moment, because whether you're 80 or whether you're 6, you can get the ball over the net, you can play with your parents. It's doing a sport as a family, which is what I grew up doing. My dad created professional cycling in South Africa, and we'd cycle every Sunday. At the age of 8, I was cycling 60 kilometers every Sunday.
Mm.
We'd play. I grew up on the side of a tennis court in a rocking chair, but it's just really, doing things that the whole family can form part of, but also the kids can do it on their own. The groups and the friendship groups that the older kids and the seniors have formed is just, I mean, there's 3 of them now that are actually living together overseas as couples planning to get married, and they started Pirates. My daughter's one of them. She landed up with one of the most incredible boys. They were pirates when they were 7 and became friends, and just through the years, and then landed up being together and living
Oh, I
together.
love it.
And another couple living together in Netherlands. And it's just, you want to create good souls. That's the dream. Just a good, kind, honest, hardworking soul. That's the reason behind it.
I love that. Like, because honestly, nowadays, I think we are so far from what makes us humans. So, like, trying to connect with nature, physical activities, being out there, like in the mud, in the dirt, in the water, is something that I think that is going to help us as a community and as a society to feel better, to be
Absolutely.
better.
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. Without a doubt. 100%. Nature is the most powerful thing ever. You can't, it's something you can never lose respect for. The day you lose respect for nature is the day that you die. And I think a lot of us have experienced it. I've experienced it in the sea before. It's just, I've experienced it in Mauritius in the middle of the most powerful cyclone ever. It's just learn to respect it, learn to trust it, but yet as much kind of scary things that it gives us so much pleasure at the same time. So, yeah, I couldn't agree with you more.
Candice, like looking back at the beginning of your journey, did you know that you're going to make it?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Because I think it's my character. It was survival at the beginning. I had to look after my kids. And I think again, it's that instinct of, you know, no one remembers who comes second. It's never second. It's first. Go for it. Do it. Be the best you can. Even looking at Sheikh Mohammed's vision, when you're surrounded, you become a product of your environment. That's the way that life is. Surround yourself with people that are better than you, that are, whether it's more educated or more driven or,
Yeah.
you will then elevate yourself. Um, and, you know, it's just, yeah, I never expected or never thought I would never succeed. You go through times, it's human nature where, and boy, oh boy, I have seen the bottom of the barrel. I couldn't even
Yeah.
say it on here, but yeah, I've experienced the most very, very difficult, traumatic experiences here. But I had to stand up. I had to brush off. I had my three kids that were relying on me. I had to make it. There was no ways that I couldn't. So, I had that vision and I still have this vision and I'm going at 1,000 miles per hour for that vision. My journey's literally just started. That's how I feel.
What do you have for the future?
Ooh, I'd have to shoot you if I told you. Um, no, I mean the vision and the obviously is we already started is franchising around the world, creating retreats around the world, building something pretty incredible here, which definitely is
Wonderful, wonderful. Looking forward to it, actually.
uh, yeah, and that's just having the dream on my vision board is to have 5 million pirates around the world. That's the number. Why it's the number five, I have no idea, but yeah, 5 million kids around the world is the kind of thing to build. We started building a school in Sri Lanka, and just to give back more than I receive. After 23 years in this country, I've nothing to show for my name, but it's I've managed to give back, more than I've ever received, and I think that's you're born with nothing and you die with nothing. It's they say that when you die, when you're born, people laugh, and when you die, people cry. It should be that's the kind of vision that you want. You want people to have just loved having you around and for you to have made such a difference in their life. When I get some messages from parents about what I've done to a kid, in their life and their family, it's just the most rewarding feeling on this earth. So if I can spread that and allow our kids to become, to spread my philosophies, it's just kindness is contagious. And the more you see how you can benefit people and how, their reactions are, you just don't want to stop, and getting kids to believe in themselves. We had 3 weeks ago, um, we said we're going to do a swim around the world in 18 hours, the world islands in Dubai. And even the coaches were very kind of thinking, wow, is
Skeptics.
it possible? Is it, are we going to manage? We take the kids, we do a relay kind of format, and uh, uh, we managed to do it in literally in 18 hours. Actually, we did it in less, and we
Oh,
started at 11 p.m. on the Saturday, on the Friday night, and we finished at 6 p.m. the following day. And
oh, I love it.
no one stopped. We went right through the night. Um, and it was just the most kind of watching these kids diving in the pitch black water where, we were trailing them with kayaks and shark deterrent in the water because there's a lot of sharks around the world islands. And, watching them swim and finish it. And we, at the end of the swim, the rest of the team were waiting for them. We had some of the VIPs from DINC. And, that was just, you know, yes. When someone says no, bring it on. Just bring it on. So, yeah, and I said that was very rewarding.
That's
So,
like I'm also gonna build like a lot of resilience. Where does resilience fit in all of this?
I think we do, and we put resilience in every part of Pirates, teaching the kid. It's not, we had for example, Fernando and I took on a group of kids to train for the government
Mm.
games. And, at one time I said to them, and was, I think we landed up with 5 or 6 of the little kids. We could just make a team because everyone said, oh, they can't commit to training and da 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 da. So we took these kids, and on the first day we looked at each other and we thought, oh boy, how are we going to get them ready? And we started training them like twice a week. And I remember, and they were getting like blisters from hanging on the monkey bars. And just forget it. No, I need this, I need that, I need cream, I need that. Just do it. Finish it and do it. You've got this. And I said, I'll take everything, but no tears. We don't cry. We get up. If we can't do an obstacle and we fall down or we can't manage it, we never cry. Ever, ever. You get up and you turn that frustration into
Yeah,
determination. And you keep on going. Remember, the truest saying in life is success is only brought on by failure. You have
mm,
to fail a million times before you succeed. A million times. I mean, if you look at from, you know, the most incredible and successful people in the world, they failed a million times before they succeeded. And it's to just teaching every kid, you're not going to become a pro in the first time, is you keep on doing it and you pick yourself up and you get that drive and you get that discipline. So it forms a massive part of Pirates. So yeah, no tears. I will, if you
you
fall and
know,
I see you, I'll be the first to carry you, pick you up, hug you, kiss you, pamper you. But you know what? If you just cry because you're angry, no ways. That doesn't work.
you
So,
just mentioned something that you have to struggle to grow, and sometimes I think like this is like a very essential thing in life because growing, in order for it to happen, we have to go through pain. Usually, I feel like, for example, like just like a cocoon. If it
yeah,
didn't go through the pain, it will die inside the cocoon itself.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And it's a very difficult thing to, and sadly, a lot of parents cocoon their kids, and don't let them do that, don't let them do that. They might fall, they might do this, they might do that.
Yeah.
And it does more harm than good. If they want to try a different sport, let them try, let them fail at that sport. They'll fail, and then you have to experience life to be able to understand what you want at the end of the day from
Mhm.
it. So you fail, 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 and you'll see. I mean, it's then you enjoy the ride at the end of it, end of the journey more than anything else. You'll cherish it more. So yeah, I think sorry. Are you sure? Thank you. Um, but yeah, I think it's so important just to accept failure as part of growing. That's what it is. It's all part of growing, and it's never something you should be embarrassed about. How many times have I failed? Oh my God, and made mistakes and fallen down, and you know a million, like when I say a million, that's a statement. But it's just to think, okay, I got this, get up, you got this, and especially heartache, because when you're sad inside, to train your mind to keep moving is probably, for me personally, one of the most difficult things ever.
Mhm.
And recently I've had to do a lot of that, where my heart is broken, but my mind and grit and vision has to keep on going. That's
Yeah.
been, I thought I had gone through it all, but not even close. Whether it's my own fault, yeah, I could probably say it's my own fault. Um, but yeah, when you feel like a knife is going through your heart and your soul, and you've got to keep on smiling, keep on putting up a brave front, that for me was obviously a lesson I still have to learn. But for me, it's the most difficult. And it's not to give up then, and it's keep on putting one foot forward, even if it's a little tiny step forward. Just keep on moving. I keep on saying baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. So, yeah, I think that for me, and just coming across good people. That's that's probably. I am a bit of a nomad. Uh, I think I didn't do the socializing. I don't do the socializing because my working hours are crazy. I'm still operations manager for X Dubai, managing skate park, X Park Junior, and Pirate. So it's been quite lonely. It's not a You could talk to your kids about so much. My eldest daughter helps out with the business development side. My son used to coach. My youngest daughter did Pirates and then became a coach, and their input's been great. And uh, it's just been a very kind of interesting time. So yeah, as far as like leaning on people, you've got people around, and you've got there's friends in it that you can lean on. But at the end of the day, everyone's running their own race. Everyone's fighting their own battle. If you can't take responsibility yourself, then you know what, you are going to waste away, to be honest. So yeah, over the last 3-4 months, I've definitely learned some very tough lessons. That's for sure. That's for sure. But again, keep smiling, keep moving forward, uh, and keep the vision. And that's what I try and do the whole time.
Yeah, that's just the last question. Are you happy in
Yes.
life?
What is happy?
What is happy?
I'm I am happy. I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful. Um, Happy. It's like I say, it's really difficult to answer that now, but I am happy. I am happy, and I never take a single day for granted. I never take a single student, a single parent, a single coach, a single partner, a single family member for granted. And I know how privileged and what a privileged lifestyle I have, and what a privilege it is to live in a country like the UAE, where we just live in a bubble. I mean, we're so protected, we're looked after. I've been able to achieve so many of my dreams here. I would never have achieved what I did if I didn't live here. So
Mhm.
yes, I am happy. Um, but again, like I said, the last few months have been quite a tough one. But anyhow, we're getting there. We're getting there. Every day gets better, and every day we get stronger. And so yeah, we're on the road for sure. For sure.
Candice, you're a wonderful person. You honestly inspired me by your story and your wisdom. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here
you.
today. I very much do appreciate your time and what you're doing, and I wish you all the best for you and your family. Honestly,
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me. It's always a privilege and an honor to be able to be on a podcast. If you could inspire just one person, you've won. So thank you again for having me, and thank you for allowing me to share my story.
you inspired me. Thank you, Candice.
Thank you so much, and take care. All right, then.
You
Have a
too. Bye
lovely
bye.
afternoon. Bye
You
bye.
too.